Cool concept, but this room was an utter disaster. LINQ's Poolside Cabana room is one of the few in Las Vegas that opens directly to the pool deck. With TVs both inside and out, I figured it would be the perfect home base for me and my buddies' annual pilgrimage to Las Vegas to watch the opening weekend of March Madness. I paid $411 per night after taxes and fees, which came to a total of $1,234 spent. LINQ is a Caesars Entertainment property, and Caesars has yet to adopt mobile check-in. So your options are to wait in line to check in with a human, or use a self-serve kiosk. I booked this room 9+ months in advance, and the credit card I booked with had expired. The bank had sent me a new one, but that caused all sorts of problems with the kiosk, and I had to wait for the employee, who was bouncing from kiosk to kiosk, to make it over to me. I got checked in, but it took longer than it probably should have. Caesars, if you're listening, I'm begging for the option to check in via mobile. I love your resorts. I'd like to spend my time in them as opposed to in line. LINQ's Poolside Cabana rooms are typically their 350 square foot standard hotel room that have a sliding glass door that opens up to your own private outdoor cabana that comes with seating, an umbrella, and a TV. That cabana then opens up to LINQ's Influence pool deck, and you're steps away from being in the water. One note about the room that I received: it looks like I got a larger variant of the Poolside Cabana room, and that extra space was used to create that separate living area. Most Poolside Cabana rooms do not offer that, and it doesn't look like there's a way to book that larger version of the room that I received on LINQ's website. This was room 2135 in District 3 if you wanted to request it specifically. Aside from the living area, which was nice to have, this was a pretty basic room that came with 2 queen beds, 3 total TVs, most Poolside Cabana rooms only have 2, and a fun accent wall. The bathroom was basic, yet functional. It had a single sink vanity, a shower that came equipped with the pump dispensers with body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, and then there was a closet with your ironing board, safe, and an empty mini fridge, my favorite amenity. From a distance, this looked like a really solid, fashionable budget hotel room. So what's not to like? To put it as eloquently as possible, this room was beat to There were scratches, scuffs, stains on every surface, from baseboards to walls and countertops. There was even these clumps of clear tape stuck to the wall still. And then there was this, a brown liquid dried onto the TV remote. On the topic of TVs and remotes, the remote had a 10 to 15 second delay from when I pushed the button to when that command was recorded by the TV, which made surfing the guide or even adjusting the volume an insufferable process. Remember, we were in town to watch the NCAA basketball tournament, and one of the channels that games are broadcast is True TV. That channel was in the guide but wouldn't broadcast. I called the front desk. They said they just didn't get it and that we'd have to live without it. They eventually set up a tech who recalibrated our TV, and lo and behold, we got True TV. Problem solved, right? Not exactly. These 3 TVs consistently froze, went dark, stopped working completely. They were unusable. We would open tickets, we'd leave the room to go catch the rest of the game at the sports book or at a bar downstairs, come back and they'd be working, only to have it happen over and over and over again. The outdoor TV, one of the reasons I booked the room in the first place, was completely unusable. For one, it faces south, so the sun was bearing down on it the entire day. But then there were these annoying black dots along the bottom of the TV that were omnipresent, whether the TV was on or off, no matter what channel you were looking at. These black dots were taking up a good portion of the screen. The technician said that they'd either fix it or have someone swap the TV out. Never was addressed, so we just lived without the TV. These TV issues and the lack of functionality made the room totally unusable for my intended purpose of watching hoops and sweating bets. Another thing you'll want to be aware of is that LINQ's Influence pool is one of those pools that pumps the bass all day as opposed to being a relaxing experience. Now that sliding glass door that leads out to the pool deck did a pretty good job of blunting that noise, but if you're a daytime napper or traveling with small kids, may not be the best room for you. That noise does die down when the pool closes for the night, but during the day, it's pretty loud. Now I know my room was a little bit underwhelming, but let's shift focus to the resort experience at LINQ, because there is a lot to like here. The casino has a modern, trendy, upbeat vibe. The resort is home to Hash House A Go-Go, a really popular restaurant that's known for their outlandish portions. Location-wise, LINQ is really difficult to beat. Located smack dab in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, you are steps away from other resorts, restaurants, bars, and attractions. And on that topic, the open-air LINQ Promenade is a pedestrian mall that's home to a handful of worthwhile restaurants, bars, and attractions like Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, -5 Ice Bar, the High Roller Observation Wheel, and the FlyLINQ Zipline. Lastly, LINQ is monorail connected, and the monorail runs north to south behind resorts on the east end of the Strip, from MGM Grand all the way north to Sahara and Westgate. It's not the most convenient form of transportation, if only because it's a hike to get to many of the monorail stations, but it is effective and relatively inexpensive. So keep that in mind. A tip, go into O'Shea's, a small casino within LINQ, go to the bar, and order a frozen Baileys. It's perfect. The verdict, was this room worth the money? And there's really no way to spin it. LINQ's Poolside Cabana room was disappointing and underwhelming for the price I paid, and it was completely unusable for our intended purpose of watching hoops. Now, if you're a pool person and you want to use and abuse the cabana and want easy access to the pool deck, this could be a good fit. Just go into it with the right expectations, because this is a pretty beat up room. If I'm comparing properties on the Strip though, dollar for dollar, I'd be really hard pressed to book LINQ's Poolside Cabana over luxury properties like Wynn, Encore, Crockford's at Resorts World, Cosmopolitan, Aria, Bellagio. You get the idea. All of which I could have booked at a similar or lower price point. I'm going luxury next time for the price, and that's just me. While LINQ's Poolside Cabana room is one that I plan to avoid going forward, LINQ's standard guest rooms are pretty rock solid for the price, in my opinion. Yes, they are dinged up, but the location and the resort experience is well worth the $20 to $30 per night plus taxes and fees you can commonly score those rooms for midweek. I'll be back at LINQ. I'll just be in one of their cheaper rooms. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have strong opinions on LINQ or this video in general, make sure to drop those below in the comments. My brother Ike and I are stalking the Strip, trying to get into every hotel room, attraction, and buffet we can to give you a real insight as to what to expect once inside. We have opinions. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for me so that you're alerted when new content is available.